Let's proceed now.
I love Africa Global Radio.
To headlines across Africa. Stay.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Well, today we're going to Burkina Faso, Guinea, and finally Central African Republic. So we'll start from Burkina Faso, where we're reading from the Sidwaya newspaper.
Okay. Tell us more about what's happening there.
Well, the headline says, Commune of Dande, controversies over a housing estate. In the rural commune of Dande, a town about 60 kilometers north of Bobo Dioulasso,
Bobo Dioulasso.
Dioulasso.
Yep.
In Hoe province, a housing project is divided. The current process takes place against the backdrop of a deleterious climate among the population.
Okay.
Now, Sidwaya met the protagonist on 2nd and 3rd of April 2021 in Dande. At the exit of the city on the Dande-Famarama axis, bollards are being set up on an area of 200 hectares, located on either side of the tarmac track. Now, a subdivision is underway, but this project is far from unanimous among the population. While some residents oppose it, others defend the project tooth and nail. The refractories accuse the municipality of not having sufficiently associated with them the process and fear that this operation will strip landowners and farmers of their land. Now, they're also protesting against this subdivision, and it becomes the first subdivision made in 2008 and had generated many disputes. We asked to solve the problems that the first subdivision created before embarking on a new subdivision. This is a prerequisite that has not been respected. We have not been listened to until then. And this was protested by Dande's village chief, Bakari Sanu. Well, indeed, according to another resident of Dande, Fuseni Sanu, the first subdivision had been riddled with numerous inadequacies that threatened the living together in the commune. Residents of the non-off area in his day have not been granted plots, while those who did not had benefited, forcing some of them to find themselves on the street, according to his account. Now, the various crises that took place in Dande during the last municipal elections were linked to this situation. Not a story you want to be reading on the front line of a newspaper, but I just hope the government... I think it's super important if local governments or local authorities involve the people directly, especially if they have to do issues of land, things that, the community owns. Things that are things that is going to affect them.
Yeah, I mean, they are immediate needs.
Yes,
generally.
It's generally going to affect them, because once you're doing a subdivision, then they have a cause to be worried. So if you want to do something, sit with them, let them understand. At least reach a consensus before you do something.
Yeah,
like this.
yeah. I mean, for all I know, with the little I know about development in some of these rural areas, I mean, you need to sit down with them, find out from them what is it that they need the most, right? And if there's something that can be done, I mean, at the end of the day, dialogue is there for you to see what you can do. Okay.
Well, moving on, we're reading from the Guinea newspaper in Guinea, and the headline says, House break. Kasori returns to the charge, but areas of shadow persist.
Speaking it's like parables.
Sounds like we're going to watch some action movie.
I know, right? It's like some proverbial kind of statement there. But let's hear it.
Well, when the president of the Republic, Alpha Conde, learned that there were house breaks in Dubreka, he asked me if this is true, that he would remove the prefect from office. I summoned the prefect of Dubreka with his services. He told me that he was not aware of anything and that the instruction came from Conakry. President Alpha Conde was in all his states. He said he didn't give the order to destroy the houses and he didn't even know about it. Now, these remarks are made by the Prime Minister, the head of government, and he made them on Wednesday, April 7, during the presentation of his government's general policy to MPs. An outing that continues to cause a stir in the city. Asked about our colleagues at Joma Media on Monday, 12 April, Ibrahima Kasori Fofana began her speech in these words. You don't know me as a liar. Throughout my career, investment, plan, and prime minister, I have not lied and I will not lie. I work for the people. I stand up for the people. What is setting? The day after my visit to the National Assembly was held, the Council of Ministers, during which the President of the Republic reiterated what I had said, and you have seen the report that attests to that. Now, in the same vein, the guest of the show, Wonka Yafen, recalled that there was talk of a right of way, contrary to what happened in this operation. You know, the rainy season is approaching, and you also know that during every winter period, there are cases of flooding that are recorded. When it rains, there's no way out for runoff. So no country works like that, and that is why the government has taken the decision to clear all the houses and shacks on the right of way. This was explained by the Prime Minister as he spoke in the national language Sosu, not without mentioning the numerous cases of accidents that are noted there. I think we are not strangers to this. We saw some in Ghana. I remember somewhere along the motorway.
Yeah.
They literally start clearing all the people who had built
Yeah.
shacks, set up slums.
Gradually making
They
the
cut
place
them.
into a slum.
Go back there today, you still see the people there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They keep-
Squatters, eh?
They keep doing it, and I feel like these people are not necessarily. They don't go to any lands commission. They're
No, it's like-
they're not even acquiring their land or anything.
and you know the-
illegally doing it.
And you know the surprising part? Someone there would tell you that it was leased to them. By who?
That's the question.
You know, by who?
That's the question.
I think authorities really need to be up and doing.
Because
You know.
rainy season is coming fast, and if
Oh
we're
yeah,
not careful,
that is detrimental to some of these
May,
places.
June, April, May, June. If you're not careful,
Yeah.
when
mean-
you know when the water doesn't have a runoff.
Oh yeah, it just goes
Cause
gets
the
this
flood
channel
and it becomes
where
something else.
it can get access to. So when they're actually telling you to evacuate, sometimes it's for your own good.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're moving them, we get the fact that they've illegally allocated themselves.
Yeah, but
there.
you're moving it. You need
So
a plan
you're moving
to
them.
as
Where
well.
are you moving them to?
Too, that's the thing.
Because I can't move you and put you on the streets.
I mean, we've seen
Obviously, I'm
seen
gonna have to
these
come back.
a number of times. I read this article also. Sometime it happened in Kenya, and they were actually close to this railway line, and they were asked to leave, and it became an issue because most of them they've
They
lived
have
there.
nowhere, yes.
And the thing is, they've lived there for years,
Yeah.
10 years, 15 years, and what's the plan for them, right? This is actually something not very, very good, in as much as it's very dangerous to them as well. Okay.
Well, finally, we'll go into Central African Republic, where we're reading from the Abangui newspaper. And
Okay.
the headline says, Minister Somse calls on the public to be massively screened for COVID-19.
Nice.
Well, the Minister of Public Health and Population, Dr. Pierre Somse, invited Central Africans to undergo an early test of COVID-19 in order to limit the spread of this new variant, which seems more deadly than the previous virus. In the presence of the Minister of Communication, Media, Government spokesperson, Angie Maxime Gazagui, the Minister of Health and Public Population actually made this statement. Now, the purpose of this press conference was broadcast live on Gurara FM to raise awareness among the Central African population about the existence of this pandemic and its resurgence in the country. The testimonies of Minister Kazagui, who contracted the disease twice, and those of health practitioners, including Dr. Nikase Mbofongu and Dr. Life of God Ngoko Zengwet, were very edifying. The doctor's name is...
Life of God.
Yeah,
course.
Dr. Life of God
Have
Ngoko
Godwin.
Zengwet.
Have you heard of Godwin?
Yeah, but Godwin is one, but Life of God is
Yeah.
space in between.
Yeah.
Well, the Prime Minister, Pierre Somse, explained that in the event of persistent influenza, people should be screened immediately in order to receive care rather than wait for them to move towards the severe forms of the disease. The member of the government recommended the Central Africans comply with their barrier measures, including hand washing, masking, and physical distancing before the possible vaccination session, which will be very, very soon. Now, with regards to vaccination, he indicated that only certain countries such as Rwanda and the United States had vaccinated their contingents on all their staff, and MINUXMA is preparing to do so for all its staff. The personalities who came to give their testimonies focused on the suffering they had endured during treatment, periods of treatment, and the change of behavior. Now, they strongly discourage the practice of self-medication to avoid taking traditional treatment first before going to the hospital. Well, that's a story coming from the Abangui newspaper.
All right. That is all we have for headlines across Africa.